Yeah, but anyway, in music news, this just came up today. I thought it would be interesting to talk about. But Yasin Bey, for those that don't know who that is, Mos Def. For those who don't know who Mos Def
I don't
is,
know his real name.
then you should not listen to music ever again, specifically hip hop or rap. But Mos Def was on a podcast. I'm not sure what the name of the podcast is. Is it? I think it's called The Art of Dialogue. Maybe is what I'm seeing here. I think. So they asked him a question about Drake, right? So this was his response. I'm just gonna play it for you guys if you didn't hear it yet. But I'm sure anybody that's listening as a clipped version, I'm sure you guys have already heard it. But I'll just play the clip now, and hopefully they don't copyright us.
They probably won't.
Is Drake hip hop?
Why are you doing this to me? Drake is pop to me. In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
That's wild.
Commercial music.
Or as
Commercial music, yeah.
shopping with an edge in certain instances.
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Of course, I mean,
It's
I
it's
get
commercial.
People were mad at
entertaining,
his response, by the way.
good,
It's-
I'm not
formulaic
shocked.
music.
It's likable.
Likable music, yeah.
This specifically.
It's likable.
But is it? I'm gonna leave you alone. We're gonna move. We're gonna move on.
Woo! So many products.
So many SKUs.
So many SKUs. Look at all these SKUs. Oh, so many products.
So much merchandising. So
Oh,
many barcodes.
I love this mall. Look at this place. I mean, look at this place. They have everything. Everything's here. They have everything here. Oh, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great. Okay. What happens when this thing collapses? What happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that at this present hour? Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire? Buying and selling, where's the message that I can use?
Right.
What's in it for your audience apart from like banging the pom-poms?
Like, is Drake?
Yeah. So
Side
that
note,
was the
too,
clip.
What's interesting is that guy I listened to, Armand Wiggins, that does like the social commentary. People got mad at him, and he said the same thing about Doja Cat. He said he doesn't consider Doja Cat a rapper. He said that he considered her a pop artist, and that she's the artistic talker.
Yeah.
And I was like, he got a point.
Right. So this is partially
But
what
Drake,
I
I
wanted to talk about.
consider her a rapper. Obviously,
For real?
I consider him an artist who does music. He raps, he sings, he does everything. That's what I don't put him as I don't think he's just a rapper. He's an artist. He does it all. He raps, he sings, he
Right. And
artistically talks.
and this is what I wanted to talk about.
He's not just a rapper.
Because this is my opinion. So
You can't make songs like One Dance and be like, I'm a hip hop artist.
right, and that's my thing, right? So
You make hip hop music.
and I think the categorization of somebody that's a rapper versus someone that can rap is two different things.
Yeah.
Because
That's true.
if Beyonce gets on a song, she can rap. Like Chris Brown raps on songs, right?
Beyonce has rapped on songs.
Right. Chris Brown raps.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Chris Brown raps on songs, but do we consider
Yeah.
him a rapper? No. But why? Why is that? That's because he makes it predominantly other music that isn't rap. And not that Drake makes predominantly other types of music that aren't rap, but you can't make Hotline Bling to me and then also still be considered a rapper.
Look at Pusha T. Pusha T don't make any of those type of music.
Right.
He
Or
just makes rap.
or Jay-Z or anybody like that we
Yeah.
consider to be real rappers. Not I don't mean to put the word real in front of
Yeah.
it, but like Kendrick or like J. Cole, they've never made a Hotline Bling. Right. Same just like with Nicki, right?
Nicki tried to go the pop route.
Like Nicki made Super Bass.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's like when you transition into making that kind of music, that's what differentiates you from being a pop artist, from being categorized as a rapper. And being categorized as a pop artist is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But there definitely are more commercial implications, and your music is going to sound like the woman in the interview said. It's going to be more formulaic. Like you're going to follow a certain format and try to get certain radio.
Try to get TikTok music.
Right.
And it's funny because Nicki it was criticizing people about making TikTok hits, like, but she literally has leaned into trying to make TikTok hits, like with the Everybody song. Like, come on, you know what you were doing. You know the Ice Spice impact. You know the Jersey Club trend. You're trying to hop on that.
Yeah. So
True hip hop artist is not trying to chase a trend. True rap artist is not trying to chase a trend.
Right. So like that's the differentiation to me, is like just really those examples. So in my opinion, I think that he's a pop artist, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Like I think people get
pop
so
encompasses
offended.
hip hop too. Like
Right.
you could add that into it. Like you're just an artist.
You're just a art. Yeah, you do everything. So like exactly like he was saying, he was like, "Wow, look at this store. It has everything." So it's not like it's a bad thing, but
you wouldn't just categorize a store that Walmart sells everything. You wouldn't just say Walmart is a furniture store.
right,
Because no, Walmart also has music. They also have food. They have furniture.
right, and
But they also have food.
they sell great things.
Yeah.
Like Drake makes phenomenal music, and he's done arguably. I'm not gonna make this argument because I just don't feel like making it. But you can argue that he's done more for hip hop than a lot of people, if not everyone,
Yeah. He definitely has one of the highest impacts into the hip hop community.
because of how music sounds in general. A lot of that has to really do with him, to be honest.
And he's a great rapper.
Right, a fantastic rapper, and he raps better than
But he's not just a rapper.
most rappers. But that's the thing; you shouldn't be categorized as just a rapper because he's not.
And why do that anyway? Why diminish all the greats of him? Like we love him for a lot of his old Take Care songs. You know, like
Right.
we love him for that. So why take that away from him?
Right, I agree,
Yeah.
but it was just an interesting take. Like I feel like, yeah, don't diminish it because that would take away from so many different aspects of what he's able to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I think people get too sensitive. Like people love their artists, their favorite artists.
and if
They get
anybody
too
says
sensitive,
anything-
yeah, and they're not taking it at face value. They're not understanding what he's trying to say. Like he's not saying that doesn't do hip hop music and that he doesn't do rap music, but he's just saying that he's not just a hip hop artist. You can't label somebody as just a hip hop artist. It's like the same thing where you can't label a mixed person as black. You're mixed, and that's okay. It's okay to be two different things. You know, it's okay that you're half white and you're half black. You're not just black, and you're not just white. Like you're if you're biracial between black and white, you're mixed, and that's okay. Like people get so offended when you call somebody mixed. Like what?
Yeah.
But that's what you are. So it's like why to diminish other aspects of him when there's so much that encompasses who he is, and you should just appreciate everything, all aspects of him.
yeah,
And just call him an artist. That's why I like the word artist. Kanye said that about himself. Kanye said, "Call me an artist." Like Kanye actually hates when they call him a hip hop artist or a rapper. He said, "I'm an artist," so he embraces that.
I think in like a really weird, obscure example would be kind of like Post Malone too, right? Like Post Malone when he first came out, like he was rapping, but like what we
The first song
consider
that we knew. Well, you know what? Not really. The first
It was
song that
really
we knew from
singing.
him was White Iverson, and what's the other one?
there's a lot of
Die Young. Those are my two first original songs I remember from him. Was White Iverson and Die Young. Those were singing songs, and he was rapping on them too, right? A little bit.
but there were other rap songs I used to listen to too.
Yeah, what was that other one? There was three.
I used to listen to a song called "On God" by him.
Yeah, but maybe just
I might just that song,
Has
God.
Oh yeah. Those were like the main three that we listened to, but definitely White Iverson and Die Young were like the ones. White Iverson was the biggest one, like spring 2015 semester. We were just like White Iverson.
And obviously that's singing, but like just
But we
because you
still-
rap,
yeah, you're not.
doesn't
Yeah, you're not just a
automatically-
rapper.
right? Because if you take any other artist that does any other type of music and they just make a rap song, that doesn't now make them a rapper.
But then, what do you feel then on like hip hop awards? So if Drake wins a hip hop award for best hip hop album, but the album had more than just hip hop music, do you feel like that's not fair? Do you feel like he should be in a different category? Like, do you feel like there should be, or do you feel like since he does make hip hop music, that maybe his hip hop songs could still win awards? But I feel like sometimes they'll say a whole album's like even with like I think for what album was, they said that it should have been R&B or it should have been hip hop in it, or like it was just in a different category.
Yeah, it was in the wrong category.
Yeah, or Nicki was getting mad too about one of her albums.
Was it hip hop album?
Yeah, or one of her songs. She said it was a hip hop record, but they tried to say it was pop, and she thought it was purposeful that they said it was pop because they know pop is a harder category to win in because you're competing against the Ariana Grandes and Taylor Swifts of the world. So what do you feel about that? Do you feel like this should be a separate category for a complete artist work? Like,
yeah, I think
it should just be pop, right?
You're right. It should just be categorized appropriately because we saw that this happened with Tyler the Creator, where he makes really good music, but they try to miscategorize it sometimes as being, and he talked about this in his speech where he's like, oh, this is like the best urban album. Yeah. When there was nothing urban about the album.
It's that a black man made it.
Right. Or like if a black person makes a country album, then they're going to automatically categorize it as being hip hop just because.
Or urban country.
Right. Like now they want to, you know what I mean? So in that case, I think you categorize it appropriately, right? Like if Taylor Swift dropped a rap album, that album should be considered for rap albums because if it's a rap album. But if it's an album full of pop, then it should be a pop album. So I just think people should categorize it properly. Now, what I will say, because I know some people were uptight about the Mos Def interview. So yeah, I will give y'all a little bit of credence with that. Yeah, so he definitely had a lot of passive aggressive tone.
I bet say he was a little passive aggressive.
And I'm not gonna put the video up there because we're not gonna do that on this podcast. We're not gonna be putting the little visual clips for y'all. Unfortunately, we're just gonna do audio for y'all. But yeah, his facial expressions, yeah. So once he got past that, so he definitely was trying to be a little shady, saying that he drops way too much music. He was trying to throw little innuendos like that. So it definitely was a little bit of shade there. But aside from that, the larger part of that conversation at the end there is this whole thing about the collapse. And
well, yeah, what was he trying to get at that? I didn't understand what he was trying to say.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for him, but I've thought about this before, and I don't know if many people know this, but I think it's kind of obvious, and I think people can put two and two together. But Drake's music is largely responsible for the reason why we still have a lot of music labels and why we have a lot of streaming services. He, along with a couple other people like The Weeknd, you throw Kendrick in there too. But realistically, it's really like The Weeknd and Drake. The reason why we still have things like, and this is me being like kind of dramatic, but at the same time, not really. Like, they're the reason why we still have streaming services up and running, because you look at the billions of streams that they bring in and how much ad revenue that generates to allow these companies to continue. And then also with the labels specifically, Drake brings in so much money to, God, what is he under? Universal? He brings in so much. Is he under Universal? Yeah, he is. He brings in so much money to Universal, to UMG, that they're then able to pay other artists at UMG just off the fact that Drake releases music through them. So he generates just so much money that it's like a buffet for every other artist. So if he is producing so much music, eventually culture and society is going to get burned out from that. So he's so exposed right now, where he got, how many albums he dropped in the past 2 years? Like,
you said how many years?
He dropped
2 years.
Honestly, never mind.
3. Yeah.
CLB. Her Loss.
Yeah, Her Loss. I think there was something else.
For All the Dogs and For All the Dogs, Scary Hours.
Yeah.
And did he drop something else?
What was the most recent one?
For All the Dogs, Scary Hours.
Oh. I thought there was something else. I think there was one more.
Well, I feel like there was another one. There probably wasn't. Because that's a lot. That's like 5 in the past 2 years.
You said CLB.
Yeah. In order, it was like CLB, Honestly Never Mind.
That's when the run started. Was CLB.
Then Her Loss.
That was around Donda era. So that was 2020.
Donda era.
Yeah, Donda era. 2021. And it's just turned 2024. So technically, it's only been 2 years, 2023.
I think I'm right with my math there. He's dropping a lot of music. And it's really good music, luckily. So people aren't going to get tired of it. But at some point, there's only so much he'll be able to do.
That was
There's only so much he'll be able to do. Like he can't continue to do this.
and he dropped the album like pretty much every year.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
actually
lot of
insane
music.
when you really think about it. Like,
It's a lot of music, and there's a lot of high quality music too.
yeah,
He can't keep doing it forever. So if the public gets tired of him, even if the music is still good, because that's how the public works. That's how music consumers are, unfortunately. Even if the music is still good, the public, if they're just like, nah, we don't even want to hear that no more,
yeah,
then music as a whole might fall apart.
yeah,
Potentially. Because a lot of what people end up doing is they follow what the biggest person is doing. So kind of like the way I feel like sneakers got trash after Virgil passed.
and it's funny 'cause he predicted that.
Yeah, he
Remember
said
people were
right
killing
before,
him
yeah,
for
right
that,
before
right.
he passed, he said streetwear is
Streetwear is
dead,
dead.
and you see everybody's out here lost, wearing denim tears.
It's crazy 'cause I was like, nah.
And look
it's
what we
not.
got. We
He
got
was right.
we
He
got
was
denim
very
tears.
right.
We got gallery department.
I think the biggest thing is you just see
Amiri.
you just see the people who really loved it and who were there from day one not wearing it no more. That's the thing. Like I still wear my sneakers, right? I still wear my stuff here and there, but that obsession of it, we matured already at that point. Like COVID made everybody sneakerheads, and now people. It's like you're seeing the laggers now wearing all the fits that we was wearing 5 years ago. Like
Yeah,
streetwear really is dead. Like you said, denim tears. It's a mess out here right now.
yeah.
And he was
but
right. Virgil predicted it.
I think he might have been. And again, I don't want to speak for him because I don't want to assume what he was saying, but I feel like
He was hinting to his.
because he was saying the collapse of this whole thing. Now, if he was talking about the collapse of the Drake Walmart comparison, like he was saying,
yeah.
the collapse of Drake, I don't think is necessarily on the horizon, especially given the For All the Dogs response.
Yeah.
But if he's talking about the whole like music in general, then I would agree with that part. I don't know about the Drake falling off kind of thing, but the whole music falling off just because Drake has to put out at such a high volume because music is in such this weird space.
Yeah, I think it could be. Maybe it could be a little bit of both.
And if he was to stop, especially because he did that interview with Yachty a few months ago,
Yeah.
where he was talking about like playing with the idea of retiring and just handing it off to the next generation. If he does that handoff, where does that leave us?
I know. That'll be a huge impacts.
Because the second Virgil stopped making shoes, you see what happened.
Yeah. And now,
You don't
unfortunately-
even see
unfortunately he
anybody
died.
talking about anything, right?
Yeah.
When Kanye stopped, you don't
When
even.
Kanye stopped, people are lost.
People really don't.
People have no idea what to wear, what streetwear, like, because there's no direction anymore.
Right. So people just run to designer now because that's like the safe space is like, okay, let me go pay $800 for some Balenciaga boots, and that'll be the thing.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't see sneakers being as much of a big deal.
Yeah, anymore.
So if he was
Like-
getting,
People remember we used to be on my Adidas Confirmed app, Nike drops. People still do that, but it's like they're doing that now because they feel cool because they wasn't doing it before. Nobody's really on that no more. Like I promise you, nobody cares anymore. Like streetwear really is not how it was. Like we were talking about Karma Loop and all those days, and we saw the beginning of it, and I feel like we saw the end of the run. I would say.
yeah.
It
So
started in like 2010 and it ended in like 2020. It was a decade run, and that was it.
yeah. So if he was hinting at that, then I would tend to agree. But
Yeah.
definitely the men that get their panties in a bunch on X on Twitter,
Yeah, the Drake guzzlers.
pop it out.
There's a lot of Drake guzzlers. I remember there's one person, we were mutuals on Twitter. And like I used to just clown Drake all the time, and he was like a huge Drake guzzler. And I have not seen his tweets, and like I just thought about it. I'm like, I haven't seen his tweets in like a year. Like I don't even know his that name. I'm sure he probably blocked me or unfollowed me or whatever, like blocked, unblocked. I'm like, what happened to that guzzler? Because me, I'm a Kanye fan. I always was Kanye Drake. But people really be like on their knees for him. So
Yeah, and
I'm
for
sure
me,
they're upset.
I don't use the word fan, but I'm definitely an avid supporter of his music because he
Yeah.
makes a lot of high quality music,
He makes
and
good music.
music would be in a very lost space without him. So anybody don't want any misconceptions
Yeah.
about my feelings about his
Yeah,
music.
we're just calling it what it is. Like he is an artist. That's
He's
it.
an artist, yeah, that raps better than most rappers,
Yeah, he's an artist that raps. He's
He
an
does
artist
it- he
that
does it all.
sings. He's an artist that. Yeah.
and that's okay. Like
Yeah.
don't limit yourself.
Why are we gonna take away half his discography because we just want him to claim hip
Bro,
hop only?
bro made Marvin's Room. Like,
Like,
what are we
what?
talking
Yeah,
about?
like-
Like, Yeah, I don't know, man. People are weird, but